Greetings everyone, this is Nemo60 here for the Nudist Rantings 900 channel. This video is inspired by an episode of the Naturist living show entitled Ethical Naturist plus a Naturist Pioneer. While the basic definition of naturism is someone who likes to be nude as much as possible, the reality isn't quite as simple as that. The reason being, depending on where you go and who you ask, the exact definition can vary quite a bit. Some naturists will only sunbathe nude and other activities, while others see it as a full-blown philosophy of life. As such, I can see why people would look at the differences in confusion and ask, well, am I a nudist or not? And that is why I'm making this video. What I have written here is a scale of the lines between what I consider ethical naturism and casual nudism and anything in between. While I did give the basic definition above, this should help clarify what people mean by the terms ethical naturist and casual nudist. First point on our scale is agreeable textiles. Agreeable textile is someone who is not a naturist, as they prefer to wear clothes for 99% of the time if possible. And they would often not even think about going nude in front of others themselves. However, these people are perfectly happy with naturists doing their own thing and may very well support the values that we promote, such as treating a person for who they are rather than based on any sort of appearances and what they look like. I find a large percentage of these people, of the population rather, fit into this category, especially here in the UK. Many of us, like myself, absolutely facepalm when we hear about an 80-year-old man who is even put on the sex offenders register simply for doing his own gardening nude. Second on the scale are occasional nudists. These are people who may do on occasion do an activity that has them be actively nude, such as nude sunbathing, skinny dipping, or some kind of special nude but non-sexual activity with their significant other or partner. While they do some nude activities and may very well have all the same traits as an agreeable textile, they don't choose to be nude in their day-to-day lives. For them, being nude is something to be done on a special occasion, as opposed to be doing it on a regular basis. Third on our spectrum are situational nudists. This is where a person may choose to be actively nude, but they are not able to be nude as much as they would like due to, say, a roommate or a family member, or, say, a voyeuristic neighbour being uncomfortable with nudity and perhaps making a fuss about it when they are. However, when they are alone in a house or find a private spot, they may very well be nude as much as they possibly can, and as soon as they can. However, they may not partake in naturist events for a number of reasons. Either they may not be comfortable enough, maybe they don't have the funds to do it, or maybe simply it would mean coming out to their family and friends or, whoever, and that would cause future problems. Despite this, they do very much enjoy being nude, and given the opportunity, they may very well graduate to the next level. The fourth level is where we reach recreational nudists. Recreational nudists would be the ones to most commonly use the term nudist or naturist, respectively. They are open about their naturism and may regularly very well go to clubs and events given the opportunity. They fully enjoy being nude by themselves or around others who are accepting of their lifestyle choice. However, what separates them from ethical naturists is that they see it as just a hobby rather than any sort of philosophy that they have to adhere to. They are largely in favour of clothing optional environments where whoever can do whatever they feel, and treat it as more of an alternative to wearing clothes. This doesn't mean they may not agree with many ethical issues, but they see it as something to be more self-contained. It's a case of you do your thing, I'll do mine mentality. Fifth on our spectrum are semi-ethical naturists. This is where I am defining the line that is crossed over from the term nudist to the term naturist. However, it's worth repeating that which word is used depends entirely on who you ask. A semi-ethical naturist is someone who suggests that there are personal benefits to naturism that can help a person, such as improving their self-esteem or body image issues. After all, once you're in an environment where nobody treats you any differently to be a dressed person, it quickly changes any preconceptions of people's reactions that you may previously have. And as such, it quickly becomes easier to feel comfortable. However, what makes them a semi-ethical naturist is the exact amount of ethical philosophy that they inject into it. They may see a few benefits of naturism, but they don't actively go out and suggest that clothing may be a detriment to people, or necessarily have a problem with the fashion industry and how it affects people's body image. Like recreational naturists, they may still enjoy dressing up in the evenings and, dressing up when they go out and having a particular fashion style when the situation so calls for it, even if it may not be completely necessary. 6 are ethical naturists. Ethical naturists are those who you may find commonly speaking out about naturism actively to others, especially in the United States and Canada. Ethical naturists are those who see nudity as a very small part of the overall encompassing philosophy that is naturism. In the words of Stefan de Shine, owner of Bear Oaks Family Naturist Park and who hosts the Naturist Living Show podcast, he is a perfect example of an ethical naturist. In his words, naturism is not about nudity. It is about respect for self, others and the environment. They see the fashion industry and clothing in general as being a detriment damage to people, in how it makes them feel about their body image, and how the popular media gives people an unnecessary fear of nudity to begin with. Naturism to them is the complete antidote to all the psychological conditioning that society has given us. They will actively encourage people to join in with naturism and suggest that clothing optional is a bad idea, seeing as they believe that having the people be naked as soon as possible, that it will also break the fear and previous psychological conditioning as soon as possible and have them feel comfortable while nude around others more quickly. All of this being said, however, they would still largely encourage people through communication and discussion rather than actively going nude in public. They do not campaign against clothing laws, however they will fight back against laws that they feel is oppressing to people at public beaches or private places and events. The final and 7th level are naturist activists. These are people who not only have all the same concerns as ethical naturists, but who will actually go out nude in public to try and campaign against laws requiring us to wear clothing to begin with. They may walk around towns and cities nude and even turn up in court completely naked just to make a statement about how they feel these laws are oppressive. This is obviously a very rare thing to see, however, these people do exist and they usually grab quite a lot of media attention. Now that we've explained all this, where do I personally stand on all this? Well, I myself would consider myself an ethical naturist. I see personal and societal benefits to naturism and would encourage any person to join in who is watching this video. Naturism is something that is not harmful and is in fact constructive to people of all ages. However, I do not fully agree with Stefan de Shine on this matter. In my personal opinion, naturism is first and foremost about enjoying being nude, either by yourself or around others in recreational environments. I take every opportunity that I can to be nude, however I understand how other people would not be comfortable with it. It is because of agreeable textiles, like many of my friends are, that I feel that we do not have to link naturism with this particular philosophy hand in hand. Although these two ideologies do work very well together, and often a person may find themselves becoming an ethical naturist after just trying out recreational nudism as part of a kind of package deal that comes with the naturist environment. But where do you, my audience, stand on this? Even if you are not a naturist yourself, I would like to get your thoughts on this matter in the comments section below. Feel free to share any thoughts you have, including how naturism is defined by others to you and how you personally see it to be. Until next time, this is Nightmare060 from the Nudist Rantings 900 channel, and I wish you all well for the future. Farewell.